Hi there, I thought today we would talk about some tips and tricks to buy comics and get the most for your money. I know that comics can be expensive, particularly when you start getting into omnibuses, collected editions, things like that. So here are some of the rules I try and follow that hopefully will be some help to you. Obviously, if you pick up anything from this video, please give us a thumbs up and a share. It is appreciated. So look, on to number one. The first one is be prepared. By this I mean try and have a bit of foresight into what is going to be released and what you are going to want to buy. In particular, I know there will always be purchases that you're not thinking of and you just sort of come across serendipitously and you go, oh, I'll have that. That's fine, but for bigger things like say omnibuses or collected editions, you know that they're going to come out on a certain date and you know that you're going to want them. And to get them for the best price, it is best to plan ahead. How do you do this? Well, I'm sure there are various apps and things that you can do for this. I don't go through the solicitations on websites or anything like that. They are tedious and boring and a pain in the ass to understand. All I do is I go to Amazon, the biggest book retailer in the world. I look on the release dates and I pop them in my wish list. So I'll show on the screen while we're talking, if I haven't already, an example of my wish list, and you'll see there's some omnibuses on there. The release dates are pretty accurate. Obviously they're for UK, but they get updated relatively regularly, and they just let you sort of have that budgeting and that planning, and you can see what they're going for now. And then once you get used to how omnibus pricing works, you realise that they're going to drop by a certain amount, and you start learning that, well, that type of omnibus is going to actually come out for around this price with the big discount. I've said it before on this channel, if you buy an omnibus at full price, you are like that person who walks into a sofa shop and pays full price. There's always a sale on omnibuses, there is always a discount, so never pay full price for them. Okay, tip 2 is shop direct. Don't just shop on Amazon or eBay for books. It's very easy to get caught into a trap of going, oh, I've been canning and I found an alternate retailer on Amazon and I'm going to get it for this price. Actually look at the retailer's name if you find another price, and find their website if they have one online. A lot of them are bookshops that are selling via Amazon to make extra money because of the exposure, and you will find that they have either a bigger discount on the book at their website, or they have special offers to sort of buy 2 get 10% off, get 50% off, whatever. And yes, you are losing the Amazon customer service refund element. If you get a bad book, let's say, you might have a slightly more spiky customer experience. But ultimately, they get gouged so much for fees by Amazon, it works out cheaper for them to sell at a lower price on their website and gives you that saving. And I've made massive savings on numerous omnibuses in particular because of using this trick. And it's not always the same bookshop either. Number 3 is look for publishers' return marks. Again, particularly on omnibuses or collected editions, epic collections, those kind of books. Publisher's return mark is a small mark on the side of the pages of the book. I've done a video on those separate to this that you can have a look at for a more detailed explanation of it. But essentially, they sort of spoil the side of the book. Unless you're buying Action Comics #1 or whatever, I wouldn't worry too much about it. If an omnibus goes out of print and you've got a publisher's return mark on it, it retains its value very well, and there are ways to get rid of it if you want to, but I've never had to or never wanted to. But it is a way that you get a great big discount on a otherwise very expensive book. So say on Amazon, for example, you would find that under the used and other or used section on the purchase options, and if you click on the description it will just say publisher's return mark, and you will know that it's an otherwise new book. It's essentially returned stock, but a great way to make savings, and I've got loads of books with that on and it has never spoiled my enjoyment of them once. The next one is go to comic conventions. When you're at a comic convention, it's rarer and rarer now to find people actually selling comics at a comic convention, but you will find traders who are selling second-hand comic books or potentially new ones, and they will be at a discounted price. In particular, you can get sort of old trades and things like that. They might be a little shelf worn and a bit beaten, but they're good if you're not getting them for a collectible status and you just want them to read the book. You can pick up books for 50p, £2, real low prices, and potentially books you wouldn't find online anyway. You know, quite rarities. The other thing is you might find bundles. I have a comic convention I go to in my local area that has been cancelled since COVID started, where I have been exposed to books in trade paperbacks where they sold them in bundles. So for a tenner I got 3 lesser known trades in a bundle. One of them was a book, Bad Moon Rising, that I'm going to do a review on. And yeah, you get some duffers, but yeah, you get some good ones. Another good one was in the bundle was Cold Spots by Cullen Bunn. Would never have thought to get that book, but because it was in a bundle, and I just thought, yeah, tenner, I'll take a punt on that. Got that bundle. I was well pleased, and it was cheap as well. So you know, every book was about what, £3.25, £3.33, I should say, isn't it? Divided by 10. In that bundle, so it was a good way to get it. So comic conventions, you can have a wander around, and you can also sometimes strike a deal. If you're buying more than one book, say second hand, you can make an offer on them, and any savvy retailer will know that he just wants a shot of his stock, and if you're spending enough, you can get a deal done with them. The next one is monitor your prices. When I say monitor your prices, I mean, say you're using the wishlist method that I described earlier in this video, know that the price you initially see a book on sale for is not always the price it's going to go for. Prices fluctuate, particularly via sites like Amazon or eBay. So if you're keen to get a particular book, you might have to wait a little bit, be a little bit patient, and when you see the book drop to a level that you are comfortable paying, or you feel is right for that book, or within your budget, then you have to strike while the iron's hot. But that's where the be prepared rule comes in, and by monitoring those prices, you can make sure you get it for the best price. Many books I've got for say £35, £40 that have then shot back up to £50, £60, £70, and just because I've managed to strike at the right time. And there might be one book in stock that they're trying to sell for whatever reason. Maybe there's an algorithm that prices these things, I don't know. But it's particularly on Amazon, it's very good to just monitor your prices in a wish list. Check in sort of every day or so, keep an eye on it. So easy on your phone now, it doesn't take any time out of your day, particularly if you're an avid collector, and it will save you lots of money. And I always see that as like, if I save 20 or £30. The other one is decide if you are going to go digital with any of your books. Got books all around me, in front of me, that are print copies. That's because I collect the Omnibus deluxe editions and certain types of trades that I want. But a lot of the books I do not want to have because of either storage, budget, or I just don't really need to own it in a print copy. So I get them digitally. I've got an iPad, I use the Comixology app, I use the Panels app for reading other non-Comixology based titles. It's a very cheap way to get a lot of comics, particularly in the sales on Comixology and via other methods that we'll describe in a minute. But you can make a massive saving by going digital, and you just have to decide whether or not you're in it to collect the physical book or whether or not you're just in it to read the comic. Next tip is take advantage of free comics. I've done plenty of videos on here about Amazon Prime, where they're in with Comixology because they own them, and if you go on the Prime reading after you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get a rotating access to a library of comics, and they are not bad comics either. These are Marvel, DC, Image comics, amongst others that you can read for free, return. You can keep them for as long as you want on your device, so it's not like you've got to read it in a week and get rid of it. You can read it for as long as you want on your device. They are usually tied in to media events or films, TV shows that are coming out, but there are excellent books on that, and they are free. They cost you nothing extra, they're just part of your normal Prime subscription. So if you're getting the telly and the films, or your package is delivered, you might as well take advantage of that as well. And it saves you a massive amount because they have great big books on there as well, big collections that you can just get and save yourself money on. Obviously you need something to read them on, but you can read them on your computer, your device that you're watching this video on, let's say, although I hate reading comics on my phone, can't do it. The other way is Bundles. Sites like Humble Bundles and to a lesser degree fanatical.com, they will often have comic book bundles on them where for a tiered system, you have to watch one of the bundle videos, Humble Bundle videos to work for an explanation of the tiered system. But for a tiered system, you can get set numbers of comic books from reputable suppliers. It's all legitimate, and what you get with those are PDF downloads or CBZ downloads, which mean they are rights free. You can use a comic book reader such as Panels, which I use, to read those books, and you can save them on your hard drive, do what you want with them. They are yours. There is no app that they are tied to. You are not licensed to them in any way, and that's a great way to get books. Whereas if you bought that book via Comixology, whilst yes, a lot of the non-DC and Marvel publishers will let you have a PDF download version for your archives that is rights free, Marvel and DC won't, which is a real bugbear of mine. There are ways that you can rip a copy of a book from Comixology when you've got it from Marvel or DC, which I've used on a few occasions for single issues I've bought, but it's a bit of a pain in the ass, and I think that's going to be a sort of turning point in the industry. But what I'm saying is, use bundles. You can get a shitload of comics for a very low price, a very, very low price. Just have a look at some of these bundle videos that I've put up previously to see the level of savings you can get. And they're usually titles that you might not necessarily have thought about, but you may well really, really enjoy, particularly the image bundles as well. The final tip is look at second-hand retailers. Now, I've already said have a look at other retailers online, but if you specifically look for second-hand retailers, you'll find there are large markets out there, online providers who will offer free postage and discounts if you buy sort of 2 or 3 books at a time, and their condition of their books will be excellent. One I use is World of Books. They often have discounts on. I think at the moment if you buy 3 used books you get 20% off the price. I'll show a screenshot because I just bought some Epic collections for Star Wars books off there. I got them for £12. I don't even know if these are still in print. If they are, they cost around £25 plus each new. They won't have publishers' return marks on them. They will just be books that someone's sold back to them or donated, I don't know, but they are in like new condition. And it is really worth checking them out because you can fill your boots with comic books, trades that you might not have otherwise thought about getting, or you might have thought, well, I'm not paying that much for that book now, and they appear on there and you can get them quite cheap. Their prices have gone up lately for the second-hand comic books, I've noticed. Before you could get books for like £2.50 each, and now they've gone up a little bit. They seem to have set their base rate, but either way you can really get some good deals, particularly if you shop savvy within their multi-buys. So there we go, top tips for buying books. Yes, it's 15 minutes out your day, but if it saves you all them monies, then it's worth it. Let me know if any of these tips helped you out. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and if you've got any tips yourself that I might be able to use, let me know, because I'm a tight bastard and I just like getting savings basically. So please let me know. But hope this was some help, and thanks very much for watching.